Did you know there's just one difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain mediocre? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not money. It's something Napoleon Hill discovered after studying over 500 of the most successful people of his time. And today I'm going to reveal this key that, once mastered, will completely transform your life. The ability to maintain unwavering focus is the secret that losers ignore and winners master. Napoleon Hill called it the master principle of success, and in the next few minutes you'll discover how to apply it to achieve any goal you set for yourself. The human mind has unlimited power, but that power only manifests when you learn to direct it with precision. A ray of sunlight scattered barely warms, but that same ray concentrated through a magnifying glass can start a fire. Your mind works exactly the same way. Many live distracted, jumping from one idea to another, from one project to another, scattering their energy without achieving significant results. Sound familiar? If so, don't worry. Today, everything will change. 1. Unwavering focus transforms the impossible into the inevitable. Napoleon Hill discovered that all successful people share one quality: the ability to maintain a dominant thought, a defined objective, regardless of obstacles or distractions. This is the fundamental difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who live ordinary lives. When your mind focuses on a goal with absolute intensity, something fascinating happens. All your mental resources begin to align in that direction. Napoleon Hill explained it this way: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. But the key that many ignore is the word believe. It's not just about thinking about your goal, but becoming obsessed with it until it becomes an unshakable belief. Think about this. How many times have you started something with enthusiasm only to abandon it weeks later? Most people don't fail due to lack of ability, but due to lack of persistence in focus. They get seduced by the next big idea or give up at the first difficulty. A person with focus doesn't know obstacles, they only see opportunities. When Thomas Edison experienced more than 10,000 failures before inventing the light bulb, a reporter asked him how he felt about failing so many times. His response reveals the mindset of focus. I have not failed 10,000 times. I've successfully discovered 10,000 ways that don't work. Can you imagine maintaining that level of focus? Because that's exactly what differentiates the great from the mediocre. Do this exercise right now. Take a piece of paper and write down your most important goal. Then, for the next 7 days, spend 15 minutes each morning visualizing it with absolute clarity, feeling the emotions you'll experience when you achieve it. Don't allow any negative thoughts to interrupt this visualization. Repeat this affirmation: my mind is focused with laser precision on my goal and nothing can divert me from it. At first it may seem difficult, but with practice, your mind will develop the focus muscle. And once you master this skill, you'll see how lucky coincidences begin to appear in your life, bringing you closer and closer to your goal. But focus alone is not enough. There's something deeper you must understand, something losers consistently ignore. And that is that true power comes when you align your focus with your inner purpose. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. 2. The power of burning desire amplifies your focus. Napoleon Hill dedicated an entire chapter in his masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, to the concept of burning desire. It's not about simply wanting something, it's an obsession that consumes every fiber of your being. Ordinary people desire success the same way they desire tomorrow to be a sunny day. It would be nice, but they won't do anything about it. Extraordinary people, on the other hand, desire success like a drowning man desires air. It's this intensity that maintains unwavering focus even in the most difficult moments. Ask yourself, how intense is your desire to reach your goals? Would you be willing to wake up 2 hours earlier every day, to sacrifice leisure time, to persist when everyone around you tells you it's impossible? Hill discovered that people who achieve extraordinary success are those whose desire is so intense that they're willing to pay any reasonable price. It's not about working harder, but about being so obsessed with your goal that hard work becomes inevitable. Burning desire has a magnetic power. When your desire is intense enough, You begin to attract people, ideas, and resources that will help you achieve your goal. It's as if the universe conspires in your favor. But this only happens when your desire transcends simple wanting and transforms into a vital necessity. Think about Henry Ford, who had the burning desire to create a single-block engine. When he gathered his engineers and asked them to design it, they all told him it was impossible. His response was emphatic: "Do it anyway." 6 months later, the impossible engine was finished. Why? Because Ford's burning desire created such powerful focus that he found solutions where others only saw problems. How can you develop this kind of burning desire? Start by connecting your goal with your deepest purpose. Don't want to earn more money just to have more things. Connect that desire with the freedom it will give you, with the people you'll be able to help, with the legacy you'll leave. Do this powerful exercise. Write down 25 reasons why you must, not simply want to, achieve your goal. Be specific and emotional. Read them aloud every morning and night. Soon, your common desire will transform into a burning desire that will fuel your focus like gasoline on fire. But even with focus and burning desire, there's a silent enemy that can sabotage all your progress. An enemy that loses feed day after day, often without realizing it. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. 3. Eliminate the distractions that destroy your focus. In our current era, we live bombarded by constant stimuli specifically designed to capture our attention. Notifications, social media, news, emails. They all fiercely compete for the most valuable resource you have, your ability to focus. Napoleon Hill warned about this danger long before the digital age. The mind cannot focus on two things at once with the same intensity. Every time you allow a distraction, you're diluting the power of your focus. Losers live in a constant state of reaction. They immediately respond to every notification, jump from one task to another, and get carried away by the urgency of the moment instead of the importance of their vision. At the end of the day, they've been busy, but not productive. People with unwavering focus, on the other hand, create environments that protect their concentration as if it were a treasure. They establish clear boundaries, eliminate distractions, and design their environment to support their focus instead of sabotaging it. Did you know that every time you get distracted, your brain takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the same level of concentration? Think about how many hours of deep focus you're losing each week due to seemingly innocent interruptions. Multitasking, so glorified in our culture, is actually the #1 enemy of focus. Neuroscientific studies have shown that the human brain cannot really do multiple tasks at once. What it does is quickly alternate between them, losing efficiency and quality with each change. Do this exercise now. Identify the 3 main distractions that steal your focus daily. It might be constantly checking your phone, allowing interruptions during your most important work, or starting the day checking emails instead of concentrating on your priority goal. Now, for each distraction, create a simple but unbreakable rule. For example, I won't check my phone during the first 3 hours of the day, or I'll work in 90-minute blocks without allowing any interruptions. These rules will seem difficult at first, but soon they'll become habits that protect your focus. Napoleon Hill observed that the most successful people have the ability to completely isolate themselves from the outside world when working on their most important goals. It's no coincidence that many great achievements in human history occurred during periods of isolation and intense concentration. If you commit to eliminating distractions, you'll see an immediate change in your results. Your productivity will multiply, not because you work more hours, but because each hour of work will be impregnated with the power of total focus. But even with unwavering focus, burning desire, and the elimination of distractions, there's another crucial element that losers consistently underestimate, an element without which all your efforts could be in vain, and that's what we'll talk about in the next point. 4. The power of persistence transforms focus into results. Napoleon Hill studied hundreds of people who achieved extraordinary success and discovered that almost all of them faced devastating failures just before their biggest breakthrough. What differentiated them wasn't the absence of obstacles, but their response to them. Persistence is the fuel that keeps focus alive when everything seems to indicate you should give up. It's the quality that turns failures into stepping stones toward success instead of signals to abandon ship. Hill expressed it perfectly. Persistence is to a man's character what carbon is to steel. Without it, even the most intense focus will fade at the first serious storm. Have you ever wondered why some people quit just when they're about to make a major breakthrough? The answer is simple. They lack persistence. They don't understand that failure almost always precedes success, and that the darkest moments usually come just before dawn. History is full of examples. Walt Disney was rejected by 302 banks before getting financing for Disneyland. J.K. Rowling saw her Harry Potter manuscript rejected by 12 publishers. Abraham Lincoln lost 8 elections before becoming one of the most important presidents in United States history. What they all had in common was unwavering focus, sustained by indomitable persistence. They didn't allow temporary failures to divert them from their long-term vision. Persistence requires a quality that losers rarely develop, the ability to postpone immediate gratification for greater future rewards. While the average person seeks the path of least resistance, the person with focus and persistence chooses the path that leads to their goal, regardless of temporary difficulties. Do this powerful exercise. Think about your biggest recent failure or setback. Now, instead of seeing it as an end, reinterpret it as a necessary chapter in your path to success. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How is this obstacle preparing me for greater success? Napoleon Hill discovered that the most successful people have the ability to extract seeds of opportunity from every adversity. Where others see only problems, they see hidden possibilities. Persistence also means maintaining your focus even when you don't see immediate results. Imagine a drop of water constantly falling on a rock. One day, 1,000 days, 10,000 days, it seems nothing is happening. But if the drop persists long enough, it will eventually pierce through the hardest rock. Your focus works the same way. You may not see immediate results, but each day of persistent focus is creating invisible changes that will eventually manifest in major breakthroughs. Repeat this affirmation daily. My persistence is unbreakable. Each obstacle brings me closer to my goal. I persist without exception. But even the most intense focus, the most burning desire, the elimination of distractions, and the most iron persistence aren't enough if the final element that separates true winners from those who only dream is missing. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. 5. The power of immediate and decisive action. Many people know the importance of focus, feel the burning desire, eliminate distractions, and are willing to persist. But they fail in the most critical step, taking immediate and decisive action. Napoleon Hill observed that most people suffer from a disease called paralysis by analysis. They plan, study, learn, prepare, but never take the decisive step that transforms thoughts into realities. Knowledge without action is like having a powerful vehicle but never starting it. You can admire it in your garage, but it will never take you anywhere. The successful people Hill studied shared a crucial quality: the ability to make quick decisions and change them slowly, if at all. They knew that a mediocre decision executed immediately is superior to a perfect decision that's never implemented. Have you ever found yourself trapped in the cycle of eternal preparation? I'll start when I have more information. I'll act when conditions are perfect. I'll launch my project when it's totally ready. These are the excuses losers use to justify their inaction. The uncomfortable truth is that you'll never be completely ready. Conditions will never be perfect. There will always be more information you could obtain. But while you wait for that ideal moment that will never arrive, others with less knowledge but more willingness to act will surpass you. Andrew Carnegie, one of Hill's mentors, became one of the richest men in modern history, not because he had the best strategy, but because he acted decisively while others were still contemplating possibilities. Hill discovered that the most successful people have a special ability to quickly recognize opportunities and act on them without delay. Not waiting for everything to be perfectly aligned, because they understand that the perfect moment is a myth. Here's the most powerful exercise you can do right now. Identify a significant action related to your main goal that you can take in the next 24 hours, no matter how small it seems. What matters is that you break the inertia and set in motion the forces of success. Do you know why this exercise is so transformative? Because action generates clarity. Many people wait to have perfect clarity before acting, but the truth is that clarity comes through action. Once you start moving, the path reveals itself to you. Additionally, action builds momentum. The first action is always the most difficult. It's like pushing a heavy cart that's stopped. It takes a lot of energy to start, but once it's in motion, keeping it moving forward is much easier. Napoleon Hill discovered that successful people don't act because they feel motivated. They feel motivated because they act. Action precedes motivation, not the other way around. When you take decisive action, even when you don't feel inspired, enthusiasm begins to flow naturally. Repeat this phrase as a mantra. Immediate and decisive action is my competitive advantage. I don't wait to feel ready. I act to become ready. The combination of unwavering focus, burning desire, elimination of distractions, indomitable persistence, and decisive action creates an unstoppable force in your life. It's the formula that Napoleon Hill discovered after decades studying the most successful people of his time. When you incorporate these 5 elements into your life, something extraordinary happens. Barriers begin to fall, synchronicities appear more frequently, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. But remember, knowing these principles isn't enough. Knowledge that isn't applied has no value. Information without implementation is just entertainment. The question now is, what will you do with what you've learned? Will you be like the majority, who find these ideas fascinating but never put them into practice? Or will you join the minority who transform knowledge into results through immediate action? The moment to decide is now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel completely ready. Now. I've revealed to you the key that losers ignore and winners master. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one isn't in external circumstances, but in how you focus your mind and your actions. Napoleon Hill expressed it perfectly. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe and the heart desire, you can achieve. But only if you're willing to focus all your mental energy in that direction. Feed a burning desire, eliminate distractions, persist in the face of any obstacle, and above all, take immediate and decisive action. The choice is yours. You can continue as before, scattering your mental energy in 1,000 different directions, or you can begin today to concentrate all your power on what truly matters. Comment below, I choose unwavering focus as my decisive advantage. Do it right now. This simple act of public commitment is your first step toward a new way of living, a way where focus becomes your superpower. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes, the missing piece in someone's success puzzle is simply the knowledge you've just acquired. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive more content that will transform your mind and therefore your life. Remember, focus is the master key that losers ignore and winners master. Which side do you choose to be on?